educators and advocates and partners. Welcome to the January 2024 provider meeting. I cannot believe I'm saying that, 2024. We're going to go ahead and kick off. This is a full agenda. My name is Liliana Howard, and I am your professional development manager. We have a lot of staff online, and before we get to our introductions, I just want to share with you some celebration announcements. Okay, congratulations to Cora Williams of Williams Family Home Childcare. Y'all, she has been serving our community and loving and caring for our children and educating them for 40 years. I'm just like in awe of these ladies. Miss Desiree Dixon of Des's Playland and childcare has been serving our community for 25 years, and after all of their wonderful service, they are retiring. So congratulations to them. Me, myself, I'm gonna miss you guys. I know the rest of us will too here at the Coalition. And we just wanted to give that congratulations to them in recognition for all their service. We also have Celebrate Literacy. I hope everybody got to get their book, The Butterfly, that could. And if you have some pictures that you would like to share with us, please send them to social media at elc-marion.org. Here's some examples of some that we've already received. Thank you to those providers who shared them. Here's some examples of them doing the activity. Look, isn't that cute? And we love these pictures. And in order for us to share these pictures with DEL and Facebook, and this also helps promote advertisement for your site, by the way, we do need photo releases. So, and here's an example from another provider of the book being read. And we love those pictures. So please, that's just a couple of different ways that you can share what you guys did for Celebrate Literacy Week, and we would love to see that. Again, send that please along with your photo releases. And if you need a copy of an example photo release, we can give you examples. You have to determine your own though. Please send it to social media at elc-marion.org. Thank you so much. All right. Is there any staff? Let me see if we've got Miss Lori Follett on the line. And yes, I do see her. There she is. Wait, you're logged in twice. So I guess I need to unmute both. Three times you're on here. 3 times you're on here.
3 times.
I think all the forum staff is under Lore. Sorry, Elizabeth.
It's okay. It's all good. And let me make sure that Elizabeth is unmuted. Elizabeth? Are you unmuted?
Hey,
you good?
I'm unmuted.
Yay!
Hi, everybody. It's Diola here. Laura and your team, thank you so much. Who else is on there from our Children's Forum Incentives Dream Team?
It's Kiki. This is Kiki Peters,
Okay.
Laura Steele, and Martha Grant. So sorry, Martha. From Teach.
Thank
Martha's
you.
with Teach. And
Yeah.
Laura and I are both with Incentives. Sorry.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. We wanted to bring you all back on, and we thank you so much because you guys have been an integral part of us getting incentives kicked off. I really just wanted to give a moment to see if we can answer any questions, because I don't think our providers understand how easy it is to participate in the incentives program. And if you wanted to even talk a little bit about Teach for those that are trying to pursue their next educational degree or just start somewhere. I'd love to see if our providers have any questions about how to make this money. A lot of you out there have your degrees or have certain certifications that would qualify you to earn extra money every year. And this is the Coalition's way to support a higher wage for you all. So while we can't control necessarily your hourly wages, you're able to pay your staff, we can help by this supplemental piece that will really, it's life changing for some people from the stories that I've heard and the people that I've talked to. So let me be quiet and let's see if we have any questions. If you need information, the team is here. Kiki has been instrumental, Laura, all of you, Martha, have been super instrumental in us kicking this off. So I know you guys are the pros.
So I've already got comments coming in.
Good.
I've got congratulations and for Des and Cora. And then
Yeah,
I have our
incredible.
school loves incentives and teach. Thank you for including, oop, it got cut off. Thank you for including Marion County.
Which
Exclamation
school
mark.
is that? Can you share who
That
shared
is
that?
First Assembly, Jessica Gunthram.
Thank you, Jessica. And I would venture to say, and Jessica, please don't kill me, but if you have any questions, the principal over there, Erlene Cart, that works with Jessica as the director of their early learning program, she is on the coalition board here. And I know that she would have no problem answering any questions if you have any about this program or any other program. But this is a big one and it is being underutilized. That's why I'm pushing it. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose this opportunity for you all. And so I'd love to show people that support early learning financially support. And when I go out looking for grants and things to continue programs like this, I want to show them that it's needed in our community. So if you have questions or you've been hesitating to share this with your staff, or if there's something we can do, you want me to come present at a staff meeting, I'm not allowed to necessarily present on this, but I would do my best to connect with somebody who can.
All right, we do have questions and
Awesome.
comments.
Well, I do want to say that, Elizabeth, you can present on this. We have ambassadors within our
Okay.
coalitions, with
Yeah.
Teach and now with incentives as well. So we
Okay.
would love to give you ambassador packets, and don't ever think you can't. You are our funder,
I
you are our
would love
partner.
to. I would love to because I really
Like,
want to see this work in our community.
when it comes down to any of the nitty-gritty questions about why they received a certain amount or why the education was accepted or was not accepted, that's when you pass those calls over for Teach or for incentives. But anything other, like, we'll give you the resources and tools, and please, please, please speak on us, because we can't do this without you guys.
I do, and I promise
So
it's only good stuff that I talk about.
So it's amazing that you mentioned questions because I actually have some. And thank you so much for that. I know the one-on-one is a nice touch, and so thank you for offering that. So I have Pamela Eubanks. We are thrilled that Marion County Public Schools is now included in the incentives. Thank you. And then she continues with, I have a question. We do not have a business account set up. Who can assist us with this?
Oh, right. That's a great question. So for public county schools, we do have to create a quote unquote license number so that we can tie your program to DCF or to the coalitions. And so you would need to contact either Emily Fulkerson for Teach, or Liz Jimenez in incentives, or just call the forum in general and say, I need help with my business account, and they will put you to the right people.
How do you spell Emily's last name, please?
Fulkerson.
And I'm sorry, Pamela, my caps button was on. I'm trying to get you the answer. How do you spell Liz's last name, please?
JIM. Martha, save me. Or Lord.
JIMENEZ, and I just put it in the questions. I just don't know. Maybe you guys are able to see that portion.
I just saw it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So sorry,
Awesome.
but if when in doubt, they don't remember a name, they can literally tell the person who's on the phone with them, I need help with the business account. And don't ever feel afraid, like, if you don't know what to say, don't, just still say it. Like, and tell us that, so we know how to meet you with your needs. And if
All.
there's ever a time where you don't feel like you got the answers, then please call back. And there's nothing wrong to ask to speak to a supervisor. It is our job to make sure that you guys are getting what you need from any of us. And it's not telling, it's just we got to make sure that we're setting everybody up. So when in doubt, and if you feel like you still got more questions, call us.
Is
Please
this the
do.
number that they need to call right here that I got highlighted?
Yep, that's the phone that they can call, and they can use it to contact both us at its incentives as well as at Teach. We're
Awesome.
available from 8 to 5. We also have Spanish speakers if anybody needs assistance on both sides. So I've had people call me 1 minute and then work on their account, and then 2 minutes later call back because they have a question. So I'm totally fine with doing that. We're all totally fine with working with everybody.
Okay.
So yes, so we're so many thank yous to the EOC of Marion County. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no, we thank you. I love the way your team works.
All right, so we have more questions. All
Go
right,
for it.
thank you for that one. So how long does it take for a teacher to receive their incentive?
So I can answer that one. Generally, after a participant is confirmed, so they first are approved into the program, and once they're confirmed, it takes about 1.5 to 2 months post confirmations. That's just a general estimate. After confirmations to receive that payment. So, but same thing. Any questions? They can also email us as well, and we can help them out that way.
Okay.
So, in addition to that, I just want to add on that we don't go off of a calendar year. We go off when they apply to the program. When they started at their program comes into play of when their payment might arrive. If they have any leave that's greater than 2 weeks, that time does have to be reaccounted for. So we call that makeup time, where you have to work your full 6 months for the cycle that's given to you. In a perfect world, it's from start to finish, probably 2 months after you apply, I would say you should have your payment. If
Okay.
you were a former participant in our program, we used to send out check payments. That is no longer. We are trying to become more efficient as we grow. So now we have a debit card payment system. So that does, it's new. So that does create new challenges, but it does get the payments to the teachers faster by going this route instead of having to wait for the snail mail or for postal mail to arrive.
Okay. And Jessica writes in here, First Assembly Christian School is willing to help any way they can. Who knows? You might have an ambassador out there, ladies.
Thank you, Jessica.
Amber Kerr has a question. Does the team need to have their CDA to participate?
So the minimum education that we take now is the national CDA or a Florida staff credential or 12 college credit courses in early childhood education. So if she just has a CDA, it has to be a national, or I think it's also called the FCCPC or Florida staff credential. Any of those can qualify for the program.
Okay.
Now, if they don't have it, that's when we refer them to Teach. Anybody that does not qualify educationally, we in our letter that tells them you didn't qualify because either the ed they provided was not enough to award them, or they didn't show that they had education. So if that's the case, we move you directly, well, not move you, but we encourage you to apply for Teach. Teach has a scholarship for those that are working on their staff credential that awards them a bonus that's around $1,200. Martha Grant, if I misspoke, jump in and talk about it a little bit more, but they can earn a degree, earn a credential, and receive a bonus through Teach, and then qualify for incentives.
Okay. And then I have, are owners able to receive the incentives?
That would be, as of right now, I do not think it's in our contract that we accept center owners, family childcare home providers. They are eligible, but that would need to be something that the ELC would decide upon, not me or anybody from incentives. As of right now, they do not, but that would be an ELC decision.
What about owners that are listed at owners but also work the center? as they might like their teachers in a classroom as well?
Same thing. That would be the decision of the ELC because we would say no, because that's just our policy. But if the ELC would allow for that position to be a thing, because we do have owners that are directors, then we could allow for it. But if we know that you're the owner, because that's what it says on CARES, then you would not be eligible. And again, funder, that is a funder eligibility that we could definitely talk about.
And this is Elizabeth, and I wrote it down. So let me confer with our CEO. I
Yeah.
believe that if you are working in your site as in the capacity of a director or a teacher, you're a floater, something to that capacity where we can show that you have regular interaction on site physically, I think that that would be allowable. But before we confirm all that, let me talk with our CEO and we will send an update out. And then because I'll also have to update Kiki and the team. So let me find out. So stay tuned. I'll find out sooner rather than later, and then we will get back to you.
Oh, and Martha said that she was trying to say something, but she's on mute.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is she listed under your name?
She probably
Under
is.
Laura, I think.
Huh?
Okay.
Did she log in under Laura too?
She might have.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to unmute all versions of you.
Hooray.
I love that.
Can you say something now, Martha? I don't know which one of these is you. Okay, it's saying that they're all self-muted now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Kiki said she was right with the FCCPC and National CDA. I would just want to add to that. She just said less money, and that's always okay, but it's more money. So for a Teach Scholarship, for the staff credential, if you guys apply for that because you need that requirement, you can end up with both certificates in just one scholarship. The bonus is $1,500. Staff credential and national CDA, or if they already have the 120 hours, they can apply for a national CDA.
Awesome.
It's the same, still $1,500 at the end of with completion.
Now, does the completion have to be within this fiscal year?
No, once they have an active scholarship for a specific certificate, it's usually a calendar year, but you have a year to complete.
Okay. And for incentives, can you apply for previous credentials completed outside this fiscal year?
Yep, you can, as long as it meets those requirements, the minimum education requirements, you're able to. So like I said, National CDA, 12 college credit courses, early childhood education, or that Florida staff credential. And we range all the way up to that to a bachelor's in early childhood education. We have participants who have masters, so don't feel like it just has to be in early childhood education to qualify for the program. I meant to add that in. We have participants who have degrees out of field and they can still qualify for the program. And for participants who have foreign education, they can still qualify for the program as well. Just make sure that they have their foreign evaluation, the foreign transcript, and that diploma. And I believe there's one more document, the course by course as well. So they have to make sure they have the correct documentation, but don't feel afraid to apply. And I always tell participants and encourage them to just apply with everything that they have. And it's better to get a solid response of, yes, you can apply or you're missing this, just so they can kind of know where to move forward from that point versus just guessing and waiting.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So you hear that, folks? Apply. What's the
Great.
worst that can happen? They say no. I've gotten that question a lot, so thank you for sharing.
Yep.
I have another question. If the owner is allowed, is there still an income threshold? I'm trying to
Yes.
read this. I'm sorry.
Nor
Is there
income
an income threshold in order to qualify? Let me put it that way.
And our income cap is $25. So if you're 2501, we're
That's the
unable
cap.
to
Yeah,
accept.
You're
that's
cut
per
off.
hour.
And I
per
know that
hour.
there's
Right.
been other changes in counties in the past, so maybe, perhaps, who knows? But I know as of right
You
now,
love
it's
how
just
she just drops that, right, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Right.
She
As
just-
of right
the
now, if
future
you're making
holds.
more than $25 an hour, then you wouldn't qualify for this program. And that's to keep it kind of
Mhm.
equitable for everybody so that, you know, we can raise up those wages of those that are making less.
Okay. And then Miss Amber Kerr, you had a question, something about 45 hours. Can you give me a little clarification on your question? Or would you like to, maybe I can unmute you and you can ask your question. Would you be okay with that, Amber? Yes, she says yes, I will be okay with that. So let me find you and unmute you. Go for it, Amber. Can you talk?
It's actually Ms. Pritzlin. I'm on Amber's account today. The question is on the flyer that was passed out for incentive for Marion County, on the bottom it states 45 hours, the DCF, 45 hours was sufficient to qualify. And then when teammates went ahead and applied, they received that letter that says that they didn't have sufficient education. So if I don't know where that contradiction happened, or is it specific for Marion County, but on the flyers for incentive, it said the base one was having your 45 hours with DCF. So that just had a little mixed message for the team.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure, but I know at least on our website, it does state that. I will tell you to just disregard that flyer if it is ours, if it was one that we distributed, but I don't believe that we accept the 45, or actually, let me phrase that. I know we don't accept the 45. We have to take that national CDA or the minimum education, 12 college credit courses in ECE, or that Florida staff credential. If you go under, which I see you going under here now, the qualifications for the program and click on scale, the incentive scale, which is that second
Right
page.
here?
Yes, ma'am. It should come up in like I said, there it is. So it can say like a PDF. Once you open it up, it should show the scale. So if you all have questions, and, you know, just like how you said you had a handful of participants that applied and were denied, just always refer back to our scale and call us if there's ever any questions or anything comes up like that.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Right, and here you
Okay.
have our scale on
Thank
here.
you, Chrislyn. All right. And Ms. Zuma's asking you to contact her, Miss Jessica. I don't, okay. Is the director able to qualify? I believe you did answer yes. The director is able to qualify, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay, and let me see if there's any other questions here. And all right, I don't see any other questions. What I can do, ladies and gentlemen on the call, if you're interested, I can send this information with the follow-up newsletter through the professional development newsletter that's going to be going out. And if you find that helpful, would you guys like that? And I'm getting a couple of yeses. All right. So I will make sure I say that. Thank you so much for your time, ladies. Elizabeth, was there anything else you wanted to add, or ladies?
No, I just appreciate you guys coming on and always making yourself available for us and our team and our providers. So thank you. Kudos to you and your team, Kiki, Laura, Martha. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. Oh, Kiki said she's on mute. She wants to add something.
Oh, Kiki's on mute. All right, I just got to figure out which Lori
It's
you are.
It's
I was
okay. I
just
think
gonna
we're
add in,
good. Yeah.
I'm like a hop skipping away from Ocala. I'm 2 seconds away. So if anybody ever needs any kind of presentations or anything, or if they have any questions, I can definitely ask, you know, and we can set up something to present and I can help you ladies out.
Thank you so much. I'm
Yeah,
gonna remember you said that.
I was going to say, please utilize Lore if necessary. We could do individual site sessions if that's needed. I think someone said they'll go by the programs too, But if Laura can't make it, then we can do other, we're all in Tallahassee, but we can do webinars or Teams or however you like it, if you like. This screen right here, this may be what you received that is very confusing. So this is the Florida Pathway that was created by some wonderful people of the state to kind of show and help our providers show how their progression is supposed to go for early childhood. And sometimes on your DCF transcript, it may show that you're at the foundational level, or you might be an ECE2, or that the 45 hours count. The 45 hours is for your minimum needed for employment in early childhood at a program or a home. But for incentives, you need to go on for the staff credential. And for any credential in our program, if it is expiring or about to expire, that could affect your eligibility. If it's going to expire in 2 weeks of you applying and we don't have a renewal for you, then we may reject your application, because just as soon as we put you in, your credential is going to be expired and we can't pay you. You have to have a valid credential at time of payment. The teachers have to be employed at time of payment. We call and we confirm, or we send out notifications where the programs through the business account, they say that the teacher's still there, the director's turning pay stubs. That's a big hassle that we're going through and dealing with. But directors have to turn in your pay stubs, because that's the proof of your employment, and it verifies their other information that we ask for. If teachers are not there, then we will not pay. Or if we can't prove that your education is regionally accredited, then we cannot pay. We always try to, we strive to pay you at the highest amount possible. If you you started college and you did not finish, still turn in a transcript, because you might have credits that could count towards something else. If your degree is in another field, and I know we already went over this, but I just want to emphasize that turn in everything. CEUs do not count for incentives, but any college credit, foreign or regionally from the United States, then you're good. So don't think, my degree in engineering won't help me. Well, that's a level 4 versus a level 1. So, and before stated, if you got any questions, call us.
Thank you so much, Kiki.
I'm sorry, I talk a lot. My bad.
No, but it was needed. We needed to
You're
hear that.
exactly, yes. And I think we need that reminder, and that is the message I wanted everybody to hear. So thank you for sharing your brain cell with me today.
And we work as a team. So if you call Teach, you don't have to hang up and call us. Just say I need to talk to someone in incentives or someone in Teach, or vice versa. We'll try to get you to the right person if we know. And we track your education. That's one great thing for our funders, for you guys to know that if someone is 6 credits away or 24 credits away from completing a degree, we're going to track it. And we're going to tell you when we talk to you on the phone, or when we send you your payment, hey, you're a few credits away. Let's get with Teach. Let's see what we can do.
And she ain't lying. I've already got Deidre working with me, trying to make me get my master's. I'm like, let me work on the BA first.
We love some Deidre.
So I just want to thank you ladies so much. I don't see any more questions in the question box. So if it's okay with you guys, we're going to go ahead and.
This is Martha. I just have something to add real quick. And like
Sure.
Kiki said, if your credential is about to expire, Teach is here to assist. We are accepting applications to award scholarships starting July 1st. So if your credential is about to expire in the next 5-6 months, you can apply for a Teach scholarship and we can assist you with that starting July 1st.
Do you hear that, folks? No excuses. One way or another, get your money and get your schooling.
Yeah.
If incentives can't help you, Teach will.
That's right.
No excuses. You hear that?
Yep.
And
Emily
Lily
knows in Spanish,
knows from
so-
experience. So
yeah, yeah. So thank you so much again, ladies. And I said this before the provider meeting started, and I'm just going to reiterate, this whole thing is being recorded and we want to be respectful of everybody's time. This is a long agenda and we're very much aware of that. So if you need to log off and listen to our recording later, that's fine. We understand. And with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next item, which has to do we have a Episcopal Services Head Start representative on the line here? Let me see. Can you raise your hand, please, if you're on the line to speak about the potential providers who may want to be Head Start providers, please?
So while we're waiting to see if anybody's on, just real quickly, our partner is Episcopal Children's Services. This is Elizabeth, by the way. And they just reached out to us on Monday saying they released their RFP to become a Head Start provider. So that's what you're seeing on the screen. We just, as their partner, wanted to take a few seconds to let you know that opportunity is there. Juronda Green is our rep over at ECS. We also have somebody on our board from ECS too. So if you have any questions, you're going to send them directly over to them. But Lily was so kind to put it in the packet here or on the side. I think I saw it on the side. Yeah.
It's
so
in the
the
packet.
Thank you. It's the 24-25 new Head Start providers application. So if you're interested, you're going to ask them, you can go through that packet and go ahead and direct your questions over there. And that way we will keep our agenda moving forward.
Yep, and unfortunately I didn't see anybody with their hand raised. I apologize if I missed it, but I didn't see
I think we're
anyone.
good. Yeah, they just
Okay.
wanted us to make sure that we shared it out.
Okay, so then we'll go ahead and we'll continue to move on. And it's you, Elizabeth.
It's me. Okay, so I'm going to be really quick with my updates. Thank you to the 8 providers so far that completed our survey. I'm going to leave the survey up until Friday. This is, and those that participate, I have 10 winners that will win a set of classroom puppets that'll be shipped to you from one of our vendors. But this survey is just to garner your interest in some upcoming program launches that we have that are funded through our ARPA, the last of our ARPA funds. One of them is the Lena Grow program. There is a link in the survey that gives you more information. Some of you have already said yes to it, so we'll be reaching out to you. Other pieces in there include what kind of openings do you have, checking on your infant and toddler slots, are you still short-staffed, things of that nature. So that is going to be open until Friday. If you could just go through the link on your agenda and just go ahead and complete that for me, give me some information on what you're interested in or not interested in, and that way it will help us really plan some really intentional upcoming programming for you. The next thing, I'm looking at 4 different screens, actually 3.
Lena.
There's some Lena Grow information. So one of our newest staff members, Annie Boyd, some of you have been working with her on the VPK POP
Quality Improvement
information.
Plans.
Thank you, QIP. But she is also going to be heading up our Lena Grow program. So we're finalizing gathering information, and both Lily and Annie are certified Lena coaches now, but more to come. If you are chosen for this first round, we're going to be doing multiple rounds between now and June 30th of this year. A snapshot of Lena for you. It's a 5-week program, and what happens is, Lily, thank you for that. Can you go back up to that picture real quick? You know, picture says 1,000 words. So in the picture, this is actually a video you can watch, but for the purposes of our time today, the teacher in the picture is actually wearing a Lena Grow device. You can kind of see it. It's around her neck, or yeah, I think it's in her lanyard. It's a very small device. And then the child is wearing a vest, and you can see the little box on his chest. What that is doing is it's just measuring their serve and returns of language, passing it back and forth. So what it's doing is it's collecting data, no words. It's not recording anything that your teachers say to the children or what the children say back. But what it's doing is capturing the data of the frequency and the quality of those serve and return interactions with the children. And then that happens one day. So that will happen on a Tuesday. Wednesday, the data that is captured in the machines gets uploaded into the Lena Grow system. It's a secure system, and we get some reports out. And then on Thursday, a certified Lena coach will come out and just share those reports with your teacher and talk about what they found and different things, trends that they're seeing, and develop a way to help improve the language interactions with your children in the classrooms. So Lena it is evidence-based. It's been proven to help increase class scores, especially in those different interactive domains. So it basically, that series then repeats every week for 5 weeks, and that's it. So your teachers get the opportunity to go through this free program. We have the opportunity to allow 50 classrooms between now and June 30th to participate. So that's part of my survey that I sent out to you all. It's just seeing who would be interested in this. So it's not a whole lot of commitment on your part. It's just putting the, using the devices and then allowing our coaches to come in. The coaches will actually be from the Children's Forum. They come in. A lot of you know some of them already because they also are our partners for class observations when we are contracting with an outside source, which we are this year. So that'll come up later in this meeting. Lily, I just saw your question. How do we get the link? Which link are you talking about?
They're asking for the link to the survey.
Oh, the link to the survey. Oh, okay. If you go back to, if you find your invitation, so Wednesday or Thursday, I think the invitation for this meeting went out. It's on the agenda, so we can send it out again.
Right there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it just says complete survey, so it doesn't look like a link. And then the Lena, she's got her mouse hovering over the Lena one, which just takes you to the site where you just saw that screenshot in that video.
And there's the survey.
Yep, and the survey just says complete survey. Sorry, that is it's a very hidden covert link. So to the 8 of you that figured that out, thank you.
Whoop, whoop.
So the next thing also in my survey is a questionnaire about director coaching. So we just completed trying to acquire a vendor to offer coaching to directors. It's 6 weeks of coaching. And basically, I'm going through coaching myself. It's professional coaching. It helps you work through some of those problems that you see day to day. So some of the things that I've been working on in my professional life here at the Coalition, some of you may or may not know, I've been here for 20 years. So of course I think I'm a know-it-all. I know everything, right? Wrong, I do not. So some of the things that my coach has been helping me with is setting goals that are realistic to increase my professionalism and to work on things that are really, really challenging for me. Like, how do I handle 15 programs at one time and still have hair left at the end of the day? So coaches can really help change how you see things, and they can really be a support there for you to help grow you as a director at your site. So if you're interested in that, just click yes, and we will reach out to you and see what availability you have. And I have very limited slots for that, so I'm going to go come first serve on that. Let me go back to our agenda and what else I'm supposed to tell you about.
Furniture mini grant.
Oh, the furniture mini grant. I'm going to release that in mid-February, so look forward to that coming out. That is going to help you replace old, cracked, yucky furniture with new, high-quality furniture. So we will have an application form that you complete. You do have to justify your need for these pieces. It'll be a limited amount of different types of furniture. So, and then outdoor sinks will also be a part of that. So if you were always like, hey, I really wanted an outdoor sink, I could just never afford one. They're portable sinks that go indoors and outdoors. A lot of you, I think, did buy them during COVID. But that'll come out in mid-February. And then also the outdoor learning environment opportunity also coming in mid-February. I don't have a lot of details on that just yet, but it is coming. And I don't remember, Lily, if I am on the agenda by myself for the curriculum grant, or if I should just throw that in here real quick.
That is a good question. And you are on there for the curriculum grant.
later on.
You can go ahead and get it knocked out of the plate. It's right there.
Okay.
We just kind
Okay.
of went from the survey straight to the Lena
Yeah.
because they were related, but it's right there in the middle.
Oh, yeah, I skipped right over it. Look at that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so big news on the curriculum grant. So some of you participated in that, and thank you for that. We are in the process of vetting out the uploads that you gave us. So one of the problems, the challenges that we're having is some of the receipts that you all have uploaded into WebAuthor are not real clear. So our staff is having to reach out and get some more information from some of you that have already participated. Others, we are processing them through. You should get your payment within 30 days. And for those of you that were on the fence, whether or not you wanted to purchase your curricula or not, you have a second chance. So the state has allowed us to extend this opportunity, and the last date you can purchase new curricula, and remember there are, qualifying factors, but you can purchase through February 29th of 2024. Okay, so basically you're going to go through WebAuthor. This stuff I know is in your packet. Lily uploaded it all for you. So if you have questions, you can go through our frequently asked questions. One of the things that we keep getting is, do I have to purchase training with this? And the answer is yes. If the curricula you're purchasing doesn't already come with training, then you need to go ahead and purchase that separately, and it is fully reimbursable, as well as taxes, which we didn't know that until we started this process. So you will get fully reimbursed 100% as long as you're following all these requirements, right? So you have to be contracted with us. You have to choose an approved curricula. Now, one of the questions I had from a provider is, basically they thought that we were telling them they had to switch curricula, and that is not the case. You can stick with the curricula you are already using. If you wanted to buy one for a classroom, but you're sharing one amongst 3 classrooms, then buy new ones. So we just have to verify that the number of classrooms that you have matches the number of curricula that you purchase, or it has to be that or less. So if you only want to buy one, you only have to buy one. But if you have 3 classrooms and you want to buy 3 sets, one for each classroom, then you can do that. You do have to also have your teachers trained though. Let me stop
right.
and see if there are any questions, because I just gave a lot of
If you only
information.
offer a VPK, can the curriculum only be for VPK classrooms? And I
Yes.
think that's number 3 right here, right?
Yes, yes. So if you're only a VPK provider contracted with us, you can only purchase a VPK approved curricula. And it has to be for sites that are active in your VPK application. So the example I can tell you with that is, if you have 3 classrooms listed in your VPK application, but only 2 of them are actually active and up and running this year, then you would be eligible for 2 sets of VPK approved curricula.
Okay. And we do, and in the packet is the approved curriculum list
Mm-hmm. Yep, I
for
saw
school
that. Thank you for
readiness
adding that.
and all this kind of stuff. It's
It
all
all
in there,
goes
folks.
with it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a lot to read, but the bottom line is, if you are a contracted provider with us and you want to update your curriculum, now is the time, because we don't know when we will have this funding available again to be able to
Mhm.
reimburse you for this. And I think that's it for me. One thing before I stop talking is, can I just give a shout out to my team? The quality staff in our department: Lily, Janet, Mary, Annie, Nancy, Sienna, who's our inclusion person. She's not in our department anymore, but she's still here. She's over in our early childhood programs department. And Melissa, certainly not last, not least. Did I forget anybody? I hope I didn't.
Annie
Going through seats. Annie, yes, I think I said Annie, but
and
Annie, I'll say
Destiny.
it again. Annie.
And
But
Destiny.
And Destiny, yes, and Destiny, who is a support kind of behind the scenes. My team is amazing. So please, if you get a chance, thank them for doing what they do. I can't thank them enough. And it sounds better when it comes from you. And if you've had a really good experience with one of my team members, I would love an email so I can share it. We appreciate all that you do for us as providers and the patience you show us, and we are appreciative of you, but I'm also appreciative of my team. And I just had to use this little 5 seconds to shout out my team. So thank you, everybody.
There is a question here. It says, this does not include public schools. Is that correct? The curriculum grant.
You know
And
what?
you've got me blushing now. Thanks a lot, E.
You're welcome. You know, you've come a long way too with these. You sound like a professional on these,
All right. It's
these
okay. Okay. Public schools.
websites. Public schools. Let me look into that further. I don't, because you all have already purchased your curricula, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So let me look further into that. I wrote it down. Okay.
Okay. And that is the last question for the grants. And we're going to go ahead and move on. And let me make sure I've got you unmuted, Janet. And Janet, there you are. You should be unmuted. You're self-muted, it says.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Can
Yep,
you hear me?
I can
Lily?
hear you.
Okay,
And I'm going to
great.
unmute Annie too, because she'll be joining you later.
Okay,
Annie, you're self-muted, just in case.
okay. All right, everyone. I'm going to be discussing VPK updates with you, also school readiness updates as well. So for the VPK updates, of course, you know, progress monitoring is an ongoing subject with every provider meeting that we have. Right now we're in PM2 for a majority of our providers. We have 2 providers that are in PM3, and those providers have done great with making sure that all PM cycles have been completed.
Whoop, whoop.
You have received emails from me personally, emailing you, letting you know when your start date and when your end date is for your progress monitoring period, which is the PM2. So I just want to remind you guys that it's important that you make sure that these tests are done. When it comes to progress monitoring, too, your children have already been in your center for quite some time now. So if you are waiting to the last minute to do your testing, that's when mistakes happen. That's when children get left behind, and we don't want to leave any children behind. Another note that I wanted to share with you is make sure you are hovering over the name of the child to make sure you got the correct child when you are administering the PM test, okay? It's also important that all staff that you have that are going to administer that test have their certificate, the VPK test administrating getting started with Fast Start Early Literacy. That certificate needs to be completed. If not, you will be held out of compliance, okay? Another thing is it's important that all providers, please make sure you are providing the parents with that assessment report, that parent report. You have 7 calendar days after the administration of the assessment per student. So that's not after the whole class is done, that's per student, okay? So just make sure that you're marking down when you administer the test on that student or those group of students, and make sure that the parents get those, because parents do call us and let us know that they have not received their parent report, okay? Do I have any questions there?
Sorry, I muted myself because I went
That's
whoop, whoop
okay.
earlier.
Uh,
I don't have any questions at this time.
okay, all right, so I'm gonna try to go as fast as possible. Another thing that I wanted to share with you guys, I've been getting a lot of calls from providers saying, when I call you guys and let you guys know that I'm not seeing any children tested, or I see 1 or 2 children that have not been tested, you share with me, oh, that child is no longer enrolled in my center. So if that child is not enrolled in your center, you have to do your part. You have to withdraw that child, or you have to contact our VPK manager, which is Ms. Michelle Urban, let her know that you need to get this child unenrolled, because that child is still showing up on Renaissance for you. Most of the time I do a double check before I contact Miss Michelle Urban, and I look to see if that child is still enrolled, and they are. So you have to do your part, because when that child is showing up there, you're going to get a non-compliance for that child not being tested, okay? Another thing that is in these notes for you guys, um, when do you put a child as place a child as non-participation status? This is important for you guys to know. So I've went ahead and I have shared everything that you need to know when it comes down to placing them as did not participate. You have assessment inappropriate, you have failed practice, you have not present during the testing window, and then you have the non-English speakers. Um, it's important to know, I want to stress this point right here, not present during testing window. That means that that child is not there the entire 30 days, not that that child has missed a week or two. If the child has missed a week or two, that means you have had opportunity to test that student. So please make sure that you are filling out the non-participation status appropriately, okay? The children should be receiving 3 attempts when they are practicing for their test. And if they fail these 3 attempts, that's when you're going to go into that marking them as did not participate. And then that's when you're going to find which one fits that category for that child, okay? Now, it is your responsibility to mark that child as did not participate. If you don't mark them that way, they're still going to show up for me as, you know, not tested, okay? Um, I've also included a how-to of how to mark the kids as did not participate for you guys, so you can follow these instructions. If there's something missing when you're in the Renaissance system, then you would need to contact the Renaissance help desk, okay? Are there any questions there?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip over some things because Miss Annie's gonna also help me present when it comes down to instructional time. So I want to talk about the VPK app really quickly. As you guys are submitting your profiles and you're selecting that you want to participate in the VPK program, um, next month we're going to start, which is tomorrow, we're going to go ahead on and start initiating the VPK apps for you. Your VPK app will be due April 15th. So if you already know what teachers you're going to have there, you already got your teacher documentation, it should not be too hard for you to get those apps completed, okay? So please make sure that you have all the lead teacher, the subs, the aides, have all their documentation, their requirements um, met before you upload that to your new app, okay? Another thing that I wanted to share with you is um, when you are working on your VPK app, your current app or the new app, if you make a change to your teacher, please don't rush and make those changes without notifying the coalition. We don't really get an email from the system that lets us know that these changes have been made. A lot of times you guys are uploading old DCF transcripts from a year or two ago, and we're not seeing that 15-hour requirement met. And then we have to go back and ask you to get a new one. So when you guys are hiring a new teacher, a good practice, a best practice is to have them come with their current DCF transcript, and you need to be able to look at that transcript and see if they have the required credentials to be a lead teacher in your VPK classroom. If they don't have those lead teacher requirements, then you know that they cannot be a lead. You will be held out of compliance when our compliance team comes and conducts a monitoring for you, okay? Do I have any questions there?
Ma'am.
Okay. So now I'm going to go on to instructional time requirements. So the reason why we're discussing this with our providers is because our compliance department has run into a few hiccups with our providers as they go out and they conduct the monitorings. So when they're conducting the monitoring, sometimes they find children just watching TV. Sometimes they find children that are in the VPK program mixed up with our school agers and during instructional time. And that's not right. We want you guys to provide high quality education to our children. You guys are selecting your hours that you are picking for your program. And so when the compliance team or even when Miss Melissa teams come out and they do class assessments on you, if we're not able to complete that class assessment because the kids are mixed up with another classroom or they're watching TV, one, you're going to be held out of compliance. And then two, if the kids are just watching TV the entire time, or you're having a get together, a little party for the children, and it's not instructional, that's going to bring down your class score. Okay. So providers, you are required to provide instructional educational time during the instructional hours. You select your time, like for example, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Again, if you are observed not providing educational time during this, non-compliance or possibly lower class scores, um, it is important that you make sure that your lessons and activities support the children's learning time, learning and development. Okay. You also want to make sure that your teachers are active in the classroom, not just because we're coming out to do class or we're coming out to do a, a, a VPK monitoring. You want to make sure that they are active and they are actively teaching the children. Best practice is to follow the curriculum that you have. Get the interest of the children. Find out what they want to do, what they want to learn about, and include that in your lesson plan. Have your lesson plan posted on your wall, on your teacher board. Have little cue cards for yourself to ask the kids open-ended questions. Um, you want to be doing those things that get the kids active and encourage educational time with the children. I also shared with you guys some things that will lead to non-compliance issues. When our compliance team comes out to do your monitoring, the lead teacher is not present in the classroom. This is a big one for some of our providers who are the director and the lead teacher. If the compliance teams come out and they are doing a VPK monitoring during the instructional time, you may not be able to leave that classroom, and it's okay to tell them that. Because once you leave that classroom, you're held out of compliance, okay? Um, Again, students watching a movie the entire time, especially for our providers who are choosing to operate during the evening time. If you choose to have a VPK program from 3 to 6, then that means from 3 to 6 we expect for you guys to be doing some instructional learning with our children. Okay. Um, Non-instructional celebration activities during the VPK hours. If you're not including um, anything instructional during these celebrations, when you're coming out to get monitored, we're coming out to monitor you. Non-compliance, when Miss Melissa and her team or our vendor comes out and we do a class assessment, if you're just sitting there eating and you're not discussing what the meal is, discussing the nutritional value of the meal or how that meal connects to the real world, to what they eat in their household, and having those conversations, you're going to have a lower class observation score. Um, and then your curriculum and your lesson plans not being posted in your classroom at all. Sometimes they come out there and you guys can't find your curriculums at all. We ask you where they are, you say you don't know, or sometimes you have another staff just covering for that class, and then that staff is not even on the VPK app. Those things lead to non-compliance or low test scores. Not test scores, but low class observation scores, okay? So now that I've said all that, I know that was a lot, and I'm sorry, guys, but we just want to support you guys the best way that we can, and the best way that we can support you is letting you know when you're going to be in compliance and not compliance. Okay, so I'm going to take a break for some questions, and then I'll answer some questions, and then let Miss Annie come in with some tips and strategies that she has for you guys. Okay, Lily, I'm ready for any questions that you may have.
Okay, so we do have a question. What happens if you have a mixed class, but you can still give them the teaching that they need? And this is coming from a family home child care provider. So I'm thinking that the mixed classes, you have both VPK and SR, blended classroom because of blended ages.
I mean that I do believe that's okay. It's a certain amount of children. I will find the guidance on that and get back with you on that. But if it's during the VPK time and then you have some of those children who are not necessarily in your VPK, Elizabeth says no, not in your VPK program. So that means no. So she found the guidance for me. So then the classes can't be mixed at all. And then this is why this leads to non-compliance issues. Thank you, Elizabeth. Any other questions, Lily, for me?
No, that's it. I just wanted to touch base that there is a portion of the DCF inspection that addresses media usage, and it's children under the age of 2 are not allowed to have media usage, and children above the age of 2 not more than 1 or 2 hours. And that's just for school readiness. So even for school readiness students, you want to keep your instructional time as much as possible.
Right.
So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Annie.
Oh, she was. I'm laughing at Elizabeth, guys, because Elizabeth was answering Lily's question. So here's what I do know. If you are if you are mixing your school agers with your VPK children during VPK instructional time, and let's say that the VPK kids are not in that VPK classroom, when they come out to do monitoring, we're going to be looking in that classroom. And those are the situations that we have been running into with some of our providers. We've been running into the children not even being present in the classroom at all, but you're claiming that instructional time, and then you're getting reimbursed for that instructional time. And before I let Miss Annie come on, I want to share with you, when you are monitored and you are held out of compliance for that lead teacher not being present in the classroom, or the children not being in that classroom, you will have to we will take that day back from you. You will not be able to make up that day. That day becomes a non-reimbursable day. Okay, so just be mindful of what you're doing when it comes to instructional time. Okay, Miss Annie, I'm going to let you go ahead on and share what you have.
Okay, good afternoon. All right, so throughout the year, we have many activities and events and celebrations that, we can take opportunities to use for our children to expand the children's learning. And this is what we are excited to share with you today, the tips to assist providers with planning celebrations, incorporating in your lesson plans, and so that you can provide this instructional time for students. So these tips align with the VPK standards. Just to highlight a few, you want to focus on planning the events and the celebrations with the students, engaging the children in a discussion, setting up an event with decorations, props, and materials involving the children. Okay, and so tip 2, we want to focus on language and literacy activities, reading and engaging the students through those different celebrations that are occurring throughout the year. We want to definitely make sure that we are improving and encouraging literacy for our children. And then the last tip that I wanted to talk about was tip 5, is event celebrations. So with the activities that we have throughout the year, This would allow for the children to participate in the planned events, allowing them to participate in socialization. When they were talking about the food, we want to make sure that we encourage the children to eat healthy snacks, talk with them about the importance of eating healthy, so we can take these opportunities to enhance and teach the children to live a good, healthy lifestyle, and to also expand the learning during the VPK instructional time. Remember, the goal is to focus on the children. The primary goal of the celebration and event theme activity is to create a fun and engaging learning experience for the children while incorporating the VPK standards. As Janice said, we want to make sure that the VPK lessons and the activities must be instructional. And if you have any questions, you can email me. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Annie. And Miss Annie was so kind to put these tips in a PDF for you guys, so you guys can, take this. You can post this on your teacher board. You could post it in, your classroom, hang it up on top of your cabinet, and just this is something for you just to think about as you are planning, different little events for the kids. Okay. All right. So now that we have that out the way, are there any questions that you have for myself or Annie?
Annie's email address, in case you guys need it, is aboyd@elc-marion.org. Just wanted to put that in there.
Thank you, Lily.
And that was the only question we had.
Okay. 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 So I'm gonna move along with school readiness. I'm towards the end of my spiel, so this should be pretty fast. Um, the provider documents. I can't stress enough that providers, it's your responsibility to keep up with your documents, to make sure that they are updated. What me and my team does is, and I tell you guys this all the time, especially during the orientation, we start sending out email reminders 90, 60, and 30 days in advance. That gets it on your brain, so okay, hey, I got to get this this liability insurance, this workers' comp insurance, or auto insurance. My Sunbid's updated, and I got to get this submitted onto my profile. If you're running into any issues with your liability insurance or any other documentation that that is a contractual document, please email us and let us know so that we can advocate for you with these insurance companies. Sometimes we have to call the insurance company and fight for you, especially when it comes down to that, certificate holder, or additionally insured. Sometimes those are things that we know that you guys run into, and we want to be able to support you and keep you guys contracted. What happens is when you don't do this and you don't renew your documentation on time, we are going to and we must ask finance to hold payment until we get this resolved, and it could possibly lead to a non-compliance again for our providers. So it's good if you guys could work with communicating with us. Mary is very good at sending you guys email reminders. It says reminder 1, reminder 2. Sometimes it says reminder 5 and 6. But we want to support you as much as we can. So please make sure you are doing your best to get your documents updated. And with that being said, that leads us into the 24-25 provider profiles. Email has went out via constant contact. I've also contacted some of our providers personally, asked you to submit your profile earlier before March 15th, because we have a total of 160 providers altogether. And we want to get you guys your profiles submitted and active. We do ask that once you submit your profile and we activate that profile, please do not touch the profile at all. Once your profile is active, do not touch the profile. The only reason why you should touch your profile is if you submit it and we reject it. Okay. Some of the main reasons we reject your profile is the private pay rate is not matching with the private pay rate tab. Your E-Verify is not current. Or there's a document that is outdated, or is about to expire. We'll work with you to get that document current and get it uploaded so that you don't have to resubmit that profile again. Okay, so please be mindful that your profiles are due March 15th, 2024. Okay, and I didn't put this on here, but I'm going to go ahead on and say it now. Provider orientation is coming up in March. I didn't list that there, Lily, so I'm sorry it's not there. The beautiful Lily is going to be creating the acuity for you guys to start registering to attend not VPK orientation. Help me, y'all. School readiness orientation. VPK orientation is coming after school readiness orientation. So that's going to be coming out for you guys next month. You must attend orientation if you want a contract, and you must stay the whole time for orientation, and you must sign the certificate that you attended orientation. Okay? We don't have that signature on that page. You didn't attend orientation. Okay? Look at Lily. Look, and see, you see my name there, y'all? I, I had already planned orientation for you guys back in November of 2023. But we just want to support you guys the best way we can. We are happy that you are contracted with us for school readiness and VPK, and we appreciate all the work that you do for our parents, the families, and the children. Okay, and that is it for me. If you have any questions, you guys can shoot me an email. You guys can call me. Typically, I respond back to my emails and my calls within 24 to 48 hours. Okay?
Thank you so much, Janet.
You're welcome. I'm muting myself right now. Okay.
All right, and I am looking for Sienna to be able to speak. Sienna, is it working for you? Can you say something?
Hello.
Oh, there's the beautiful Sienna. Thank you. Go for it, Sienna.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Sienna here. I'm the inclusion coordinator, and I just have a few reminders. I'm not going to go through all because I realize our time has gone, but just the ones that I'm really want to remind you of. And one of them is that the screenings that are not completed by the parents within the first 5 days, they automatically come to you. And this is a part of your school readiness contract. You have agreed to do this when you sign the contract. And so when they don't do it, it comes to you. And you have 5 weeks and 5 days. Right? I'm sure that is enough time to conduct the screening and to get it in on time, but I'm still having providers who are, that time has passed and I have to send them a 10-day non-compliance. And even that, sometimes I'm not getting them in time. Just to let you know that we are revising the corrective action plan. And because if you don't do it within the 10 days, we're going to have to start taking action. I have not had a lot, but we see some that are reoccurring. Okay, so but if there is a barrier, if the child is not attending or they never attended, let me know prior to the due date so that we can remove those screenings. The other thing I'd like to share is the incomplete ASQ screenings. Now, what I have noticed is that a lot of time the ASQ 3 screenings are completed, but the SC2 is not. And I'm assuming that sometimes it's the parents. And so I have created a document, a how to document for your parents so that you can share that with them. I've also shared the link to the YouTube videos that are available online. One is for the family and the other one is for the provider. And if Lily, if you can just go back up to that box. Right. So when you have completed the screening, the ASQ3, please take a note of this box to see if it says click here to complete the ASQ SE2. Right now, on my report, I have several providers who you have completed the ASQ3, but the SE2 is still outstanding, right? Just double check your queue to ensure that the SE2 is needed or not. And just to share that we send an email to the parents, and I CC you as the provider so that you see the children who have come up with concern if you were not the one who did the screening. And I send the resources. Those resources are to be shared with the classroom teacher so that they can work with the children. And then when children have concern and I contact the parent and they agree to have an assessment done, I also CC you on the confirmation notice to the parent to say, yes, we received your consent form and your child is being referred for these areas, so that you are in the know-how that these children are being getting services. And okay, I think finally, I think the Help Me Grow. In the past, we have had we had a butterfly on our website, right? And these are for children who you may have issues with. You see areas that they need help with, but they are not school readiness children. We are able to provide services for these children through Help Me Grow. And this little picture will show you now how to access it. Once you select the Help Me, once you go on our website, sorry, and you select the Help Me Grow, and Lily is showing us, right? As you open that one, no, not for caregivers. You have to go back, Lily, to the Help Me Grow, right? So right there at the top, it says, is your child's development on track? And it says, click here for English and the one for Spanish. And you're able to conduct a screening for those kids, or you can ask the parent to do it. And one of our Help Me Grow coordinators will reach out to the parent and get those children assessed, whether it's behavior issue, anything with their fine motors, any of the areas that the ASQ screening covers. And thank you. I think that's it, unless there are questions.
I'm checking, and there are no questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, and next on our agenda is Miss Melissa with program assessment. So let me make sure that she is unmuted. And Melissa, you should, it says you're self-muted.
Good
Oh,
afternoon.
there you go. Cool.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, because I know that we're out of the time, so what I wanted to review was the class observation, the Rule 6M8, 621. In that one, it says that the VPK instructor, the aide, the substitute teacher, the director or principal that is present in that classroom at the time that we go to conduct observation, that person will be observed. Let's say, for example, the lead teacher that day is not there, but the substitute and the aide are in there, we will observe those two teachers, the substitute and the aide. Or even the director, if he's stepping in for that day, that person will be observed. The next part is that all programs assessment observations must occur during the VPK instructional hours. Ms. Janet went through that a little bit. I'm just going to give you an example. If your VPK hours are from 8 to 11 and between 8 and 11 you have breakfast, you have outside time, or you have lunch, we will observe those periods of time because they are inside that instructional hours. And if you are not doing something that is instructional, you are not teaching the children, that will put your score down because we will be observing and we will be looking for those type of things. So just make sure your teachers are prepared for that type of teaching during that time. And that goes with that one that Lily just highlight, that the class observation is going to take place anytime during the instructional hours. If you have like the same, you have music, you have any specials, we will observe if it's happening during the instructional hours and the lead teacher is present with the children in that specials. And it's the same, that person needs to be given instructional time and teaching the children. Any questions in that area?
None at this time.
Okay. Now we're going to the SR assessment and QPS information. When I ask you to, when your QPS is in its registration, please make sure that you just add your SR classroom, not your VPK classrooms. Your VPK classroom can be added if it's a wraparound one. That means that after the VPK hours, you're gonna have SR children that stay longer in that VPK classroom. But don't put the VPK classroom because that will, confuse the system, and then we will be like observing your VPK classroom for SR2 when we just need to observe it for VPK. And then I've been sending emails since last week and this week, asking the providers that they need to register. You receive an email that says that your QPS need registration. Please, I'm giving a deadline to each one of you. If you can please complete it by the deadline, because that will help us with the scheduling your observations, because we will have already which classrooms do you have, because sometimes when you submit your roster, you have changes of teachers, or you close the classroom, or you open a new classrooms. So we need that information to be able to schedule the observations for SR. And then with the 2 weeks window that is sent for VPK, even for SR, please reply to us with the 3 blackout dates as soon as you receive that email, because we will work the schedule around those 3 blackout days. And if your window is open and you already provide those 3 blackout dates, please do not make last minute changes of the 3 blackout dates. We're going to try to stick with those 3 blackout dates because it will make all the scheduling easier for the providers and even for us. And then last but not least, we will be having as Helping Us Children Forum, helping us with the observations. So you will receive emails with your 2 weeks window with, it will be or me or Miss Nancy or even Children Forum. They're going to have their assessors contacting you for the 2 weeks window. Okay. So I try to do everything as short as possible. Any questions?
There are no questions. And again, everyone, please note that all this information we've been going over today, all this documentation that you've seen on this lovely screen scrolling before your eyes, is in the provider packet. And it will also be sent out in follow-up newsletters as well.
That's it on my part, Lily.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And this is recorded. So in respect for your guys' time, if you need to go, we understand. For those of you who are staying, thank you and welcome. And we are now down to Michaela. And Michaela, let me double check. It says you're self-muted.
Hello, everyone. You can hear me?
I hear ya.
Okay. Okay, so today I'm going to go over the VPK short and long forms according to Rule 6M 8.305. Just a little tips and things that you need to be made aware of. So for the VPK short forms, VPK providers are required to maintain the parent sign-in and sign-out sheets for both the short and long forms on site. Providers who use the VPK short forms must submit a sign-in, sign-out sheets to support the short forms. Providers must complete the form after the child's last attendance day during the month and no later than the following month. The short form attests to the child's attendance for the month and must include the parent's signature and certify that he or she continues to choose the private provider or public school to deliver the program. The child's name, birth date, the provider name, VPK class, the attestation month, printed parent name, signature, and date must be completed on the form. Okay, for the long forms, the long form must be completed on a monthly basis. Sign-in and sign-out sheets are not required. The child's daily attendance must be submitted. The child's name, birth date, the provider name, VPK class, attendance month, year, the printed name of the parent, the signature, and date must be completed. We've had a few discrepancies for these forms, which will be or could be considered as non-reimbursable. We've been seeing children marked present on the attendance sheet, but not signed in or out on the sign in or out sheet. The child marked present on the attendance sheet, but not indicated as present on the loan form. The VPK loan form is not signed and certified by the parent. The VPK loan form is signed, dated, and certified by the parent before the end of the month. Any days after the signature date cannot be validated and will be considered as non-reimbursable days. Some additional reminders, providers cannot pre-fill the parent's signature date on either the VPK short or loan form, and parents must enter the date on the form the same day they are signing the form. A few tips for success to ensure that your child's sign-in and sign-out requirements, to ensure that you have the sign-in and sign-out requirements are included in your informational packets and policies and procedures. Review your policies and procedures with parents and other persons authorized for dropping off and picking up children regularly. Review sign-in and sign-out sheets on a regular basis to ensure all requirements are being met. Any questions, you can reach out to myself, Ms. Delania Price, or Ms. Ricodine Nicholas.
Okay.
Any questions? I tried to, run through that pretty quickly. I know we're over.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michaela. No questions at this time. Okay. All right, so that leaves it with me. And basically, I just want to share with y'all that we now have a class group coaching schedule. Whoop, whoop. Class group coaching is now available. It was formerly known as MMCI. We are doing both infant, toddler, and pre-K. Our infant, toddler courses are going to be on Tuesdays, starting February 13th. It is going to be an intense 12 weeks. And then pre-K is going to start on Thursdays, February 15th. You can take a look at the schedule here and see that we're pretty much going straight through, except for we skip 1 week in March and 1 week in April. And it's the same thing with the infant toddler. Registration is available on our website for both infant toddler and pre-K. And you need to be committed to attending. These are virtual. That means they're completely online. And you can go straight to our professional development website right here and sign up. And it will show you all the times And just in case that way is very confusing, I put it in here this way too. So be aware of the commitment. There's only a limited number of seats. There's only 20 available for each cohort. And again, it's from 6:30. We've got 20 spots open for infant toddler and 16 for pre-K at this time. And it's from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening. DEL still has trainings available at the teachstone.com Florida website. These are free right now. God only knows how long they'll stay free. For those of you who are trying to have brand new teachers or trying to get prepared for class observations, or just to, increase the quality in your, because it's all about children outcome, right? These courses are available here for free. You can register. If it's something that requires a product key, it will tell you to reach out to your coalition. And I have product keys, limited number of product keys, but I have product keys for courses like the class foundations for pre-K. And it looks like TAFN, the pre-K course, is for VPK. Does that answer your question about class group coaching? I'll see if that answers. Oh, yeah, she says yes. Yes, when it says pre-K, that has to do with VPK, y'all. So I just wanted to reiterate that those are available. We've had a lot of questions about the health and safety trainings, and I wanted to share with y'all just to clarify. Here we go. All right, by June 30th of 2024, everybody take a breath. June 30th, 2024. Not today, not tomorrow, June 30th, 2024. Deep breaths. All right. Those of you who are school readiness providers, notice I said school readiness, not VPK. School readiness. See that? School readiness. You are required to take the health and nutrition in school readiness program. That's the first course. And the second course is safety practices in the school readiness program by June 30th, 2024. All right, well, where do I go to do this? Well, you go to the Florida Early Childhood Professional Development Registry. What is that? Are you kidding me? What is that? That is the same site you go to do your DCF trainings, like your 45 hours, your emergent literacy, same site, y'all. And when you go there, you're going to see that it's going to have a little clip. And I'm going to just copy and I'm going to take this, download it. Here we go. It's going to look something like this. It's going to say school readiness pre-service. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. See that? That's what it's going to look like. And it's right there. There's your course code, HNSR. I've had a lot of people asking me, what's the course code? I do not have these memorized off the top of my head. I apologize. And I can put that in the chat, yes. And then the second one is safety practices and school readiness. That's SFESR. So when you go to the DCF training website registry, you will see the menu option, and then you go on just like you would any other course that you're trying to enroll for, and you would select enroll for online courses, and you'll see a portion of the list of those courses that says school readiness pre-service training, and that's where you go to sign up. Okay, and when I say the Florida Early Childhood DCF website. I'm talking about this one right here. All right. Hopefully I've cleared that up. Any questions? Let me take a look. DJ navigating. Here we go. Nope, no questions. All right. And last but not least, I want to encourage everybody to register for our conference coming up. We have our early childhood conference up in CF. Whoop, whoop. And registration links and more information about that to come in our provider or professional development newsletter, which will be coming out soon. So keep an eye on that. Thank you. And if we have no other questions, have a wonderful rest of your day, y'all. And thank you so much for hanging tight as long as you did. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. You can't hear it, but everybody around the office is saying thank you. I can't unmute everybody fast enough, but my apologies. Oh, you're very welcome for the valuable information. Absolutely. All right. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, Pamela, I'm so glad you went to the screening for No Small Matters. That's exciting. Yes, we had that yesterday at the library. Yes, and the same Rachel Giannini is going to be our keynote at our conference, who was in No Small Matters. Awesome. And you're very, very welcome, y'all. Double checking for last call for questions. If you filled that in with something else, it's on you. All right. Thank you, everyone. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Here we go. Signing off.